had a couple of them, but I know one's a little bit longer. I know you guys are short for time, so I'll just do the smaller one. So I had a dream about me and my brother. His name's Mark. We were like in this upper room building, and he was like really close, like almost attached to me, um, almost like a twin, like a feeling type. At night time, he would be near my back end. It's kind of graphic. Then he would rear enter me from the back. There was some kind of dialogue between me and him, and I didn't hear what he said. Uh, but it was between me, him, and this other person. Um, and at one point, he opened a window, and there was this strong wind, and all these leaves came into the room. And I said to him, "Close the window. Don't let the running water come through." And then he says, while he was smiling at me, I think he just started laughing at me while he turned at me. And that was the end of the dream.
Interesting. So who was this guy?
He's my brother.
Okay. Sounds to me like, I mean, obviously it's not a literal dream. It sounds to me like the spirit behind your brother, if they're, and you would probably know, obviously, the context of your relationship and what that looks like. But the spirit behind your brother is literally trying to get the best of you and overpower you and have this dialogue with you that doesn't sound very empowering, but more of an offensive attack against you and who you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, in a certain way, in a certain sense, yeah, it does. Even though we're pretty close.
Probably not your brother in particular. And sometimes it's hard to separate, particularly in family, especially if there's a strained relationship or whatever. I don't know. Are you and your brother on good terms?
Yeah, we're pretty tight, actually, as a matter of fact.
Is he a Christian?
I wouldn't call him a Christian, no.
Okay. So it's the idea that, yeah, okay. The spirit behind him that's a driving force for him is attacking you. And do you remember what the dialogue was about at all?
I know that there was a conversation, but I didn't hear it.
And he was talking with somebody else.
There was a third person there, or a third voice there that I didn't see. But like I said, I couldn't hear the conversation though.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you get, Neil?
After there was the conversation, what happened with who opened the window?
It was my brother, Mark, who opened it.
Mark opens the window. And did you tell him to close it to not let the leaves come in?
Yeah, so he opened the window, and then there was this gush of wind that came through and bring in leaves all over to the room, like if somebody had a bunch of leaves and just threw it into a window. And then I told them to shut the door and don't let the running water come through, even though they were leaves. And he turned at me, shut the window, sorry.
And he turned to you?
And then he turned it to me and smiled, and I thought I heard him laugh.
So you have a brother who's like a twin.
Yeah.
First, the upper room is kind of an interesting dual kind of symbol. I mean, that's where Jesus was betrayed. That's the Last Supper. Judas was the money changer who betrayed him. And I think there's somebody, I think what the other person, the voice that's behind Mark, is the one that's trying to get Mark to betray you. And so you have this encounter with him that John asked this question in a dream interpretation one. It's one of the first ones he did on stage. He said, "How did you feel when that next part happened?" He said it was nighttime and he rear-entered you.
Yeah.
What was your thought when that happened? Was it frustration, anger, or anything like that? Or was it something different? Or nondescript?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of whether or not there was a feeling attached. I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you remember, just, you'll know what it is. But it's the person behind Mark is the person that's the spirit that's driving him to do this. Opening the window, windows are, it's a view into the supernatural. It's a view into the spirit world. And so when he opens up the windows, this seems like refuse. Leaves are dead things from the tree come into the room. So he's letting in these dead things from a tree into this room where you guys are. And you ask him to shut the window and don't let the running water come in. The river of living water is what flows out of the throne room. This is what gives us life. It's a symbol of the Holy Spirit.
Right.
And your brother turns and laughs. It's kind of like, the running water should come in, but it's like he's mocking you. He's mocking your faith. He's mocking, and it's probably not him. It's the spirit behind him that's causing him to do.
Yeah.
And as John said, Mark is probably not Mark in this dream. It's a symbol for something else or somebody else. And so, this is the spiritual warfare piece again. That person has no authority to be in this room. And so, it's putting on the gospel armor and casting this thing out and taking authority over, because it doesn't need to be in your life.
I like it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.